Hi, I'm Matt Hires, and you're watching Marina Boy TV.
Okay, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about how you got started. Did you always know that music was something you wanted to pursue? Like, how did you get into it as a career?
I knew it was something that I wanted to do, but for a long time I didn't think it was something that I could do professionally. But then I started playing with some friends after high school, and we had a band.
Tonight, you did have a very overzealous band. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't know her or anything, but she was yelling like, "You're hot!" the whole time you're playing. How do you deal with things like that, like heckling, even if it is positive heckling? How do you feel about that?
It's hard a lot of times because it's distracting. I'm trying to think, okay, what's the next song? I'm trying to remember lyrics, which I forget a lot of times, and things like that. But I mean, I usually will respond to them in some way, but then they keep doing it. I just kind of ignore it. For the most part. I've only had some bad heckling a couple of times. I got really pissed off at a guy once heckling.
What was he saying?
He was saying something like, all he wanted to hear was the next artist. So I just kind of glared at him. And then I dedicated the next song to him.
That's good. That's a good way of turning around. Good spin. So you have released a full-length album, and then you just released, I guess, last year an EP. It's kind of more of a acoustic, more sort of grassroots EP called 888.
Yeah.
Was there an evolution, you think, in your music? Did it change in any way?
Yeah, I mean, there were some new songs that I'd written, and I wanted to kind of put them out. And it had been a while since I released anything, so we did this EP with the same producer, Eric Ross, so I produced my full-length record.
You mentioned earlier in the show that you may have forgotten your merch somehow in Chicago.
I forgot it in Chicago. I left it there.
And I kind of like what you did to, I guess, cover your ass. It was you burned a bunch of CDs.
Yeah.
And you put everything in.
Yeah.
So he's got a little spindle up front with, I guess, a whole bunch of burned stuff, and he's written on it. I think you actually kind of started off doing that at one point. That was before. So
I did it before on one of my first tours. I had sold out of CDs, and my extra CDs that were being shipped from the label got shipped to the venue that we had played the night before. So we didn't have any CDs, so I just bought burnt CDs and sold them. And I sold more than I was selling like the regular CDs. So
perfect.
I don't know how that works.
I think maybe he did it on purpose. Maybe he's trying to cut some corners here.
I'm doing that this whole tour. I'm just like, oh, I forgot my CDs.
So you mentioned there's actually some unreleased songs on it. Are they ones that people have heard before?
There's a couple that were on the deluxe version of Take Us to the Start that were released on that was released on iTunes, and then there's a couple acoustic demos that haven't been released yet.
Is there a question that you've always wanted to be asked in an interview, that you've actually rehearsed in your head and thought of your answer and how poignant it's going to be, that you've never been asked? Like one you've been waiting for? Because here's your big chance, big opportunity.
What do you want to do with your life? I was trying to set this up right. Ask me that.
Ask you again?
No, ask me what I just said.
What do you want to do with your life, Matt?
I want to have a greatest hit CD someday.
Aww, that's cute. I like that. No, I think that's a good goal. Yeah, you're working on it. You're on the way there.
Like one, a half of one.
An anthology. So what can people expect from you next? You're working on a new album inside.
I'm gonna right after this tour I'm on now. I'm gonna go into the studio like the end of this year, beginning of next year, and start working on that. And hopefully have something out by like summer of next year. That's the plan.
It's exciting. I'm excited. I'm a little bit biased, but so are you.
A little.
You're from Florida, and I know you have a very, very strong feelings, strong sentiments towards your home state.
I do.
And you've actually kind of written almost like a love song to Florida before. Do you think that it has shaped you in any way? Living there, growing up there, being there now has shaped you as a musician in any way?
I feel like it has in some ways. Well, one being like when I first started out writing songs, my biggest influence was Dashboard Confessional, who is from Chris Brown is from Florida. So there's that, and then more recently Tom Petty. And the song you were talking about was the first song I wrote was about Florida. And I don't know. I feel like I guess it's influenced me in some way.
Are you wishing you were there right now because it's really cold or
I am. I'm counting down the days to get back to Florida.
Is there anything else you want to tell us? Anything else you want to talk about? Just something on your mind?
I don't know. Looking forward to finishing up this tour and I mean, not that I'm like done with it.
I'm so
I'm looking
used to
forward
it.
to the rest of this tour and then recording and putting out some new music. And, yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. I really appreciate it.